Hello and welcome to our Year with the Ears, our daily vlog where we relive our year living in the Walt Disney World resorts in 2019. Today is day 313.
We woke up this morning here at Art of Animation, got ready for the day, and then headed up to the front to once again talk to the manager. He was hoping that because today's a Saturday, it's a big checkout day, that he'd be able to get us a room tour of one of the Nemo suites now that they've been remodeled. So sure enough, he checked and there were a couple already ready. So he took us over there and we got to do a full room tour of the Nemo suites. Just like the Cars suites, we absolutely love the remodel in here. It looks so good. The flooring is probably my absolute favorite part of this room, but all of it looks so good.
They have replaced the carpet with all new hard flooring, and it does have some kind of sea features on it there all throughout. You'll find different little pieces of coral and seaweed and whatnot. So a lot of theming even down to the floor they've replaced in here. Looks really, really awesome. These tables here that they have are of course covered with all kinds of Finding Nemo characters that you may recognize. And there's Dory up there. And this table actually is where your Murphy bed is up there, and you pull that down right on top of the table. We'll show you that here in just a few moments. And if you'd like to see that entire room tour, it is linked down in the description below and up there in the corner. Once we were done with the tour, we talked to the manager for just a couple more minutes, thanked him for letting us do that tour and the Cars tour. It's been really helpful for everyone so far. Went back to the room and I started editing the video we just shot and started the upload because I know it's going to take a very long time here. But we're going to be leaving, so as long as I get it done and started uploading, it can just sit there and upload while we're out.
While he was doing that, my mom and I decided just to walk around because Art of Animation is a beautiful resort. It was a really nice day. As we were walking, we went into one of the buildings, and at one of the housekeeping carts, they had a Mickey balloon. And so I said something about like, oh, look, a Mickey balloon. And then I went, oh, that's so sad. Someone had to leave it behind. Well, the housekeeper heard me. I didn't realize she was right around the corner. She goes, oh, do you want it? I was like, are you sure? She's like, yeah, you can take it. I have to throw it away if you don't take it. I was like, we don't want to waste a Mickey balloon. So I took it, and then I thought, So we started going up and down the floors in different buildings. And again, because it's a Saturday, huge checkout day, and Art of Animation is a really big resort for families. Mainly families stay here. Sure enough, we found like 4 or 5 Mickey balloons. We always asked, is it okay if we take it? And we were always told yes. So we collected a bunch of Mickey balloons, and then we walked around the resort and started handing them out to children. I will say we always ask the parents first. You never want to just hand something to someone else's child. But we'd always ask, is it okay if they have a Mickey balloon? And usually it was like, are you sure? Like, yeah, it's fine.
Do you know how expensive those things are?
They are, and so we're recycling. And now they made 2 children happy. Isn't that amazing? So we had the absolute best time. So Robert came and met us, and he's like, what is going on? What are you guys doing? So we told him we were passing out Mickey balloons. He goes, where did you get Mickey balloons? Is there something I missed? So we told him the whole story. We had a really great time doing this.
Once I met them, we did go and get on the Skyliner to head over to Epcot. We actually have lunch reservations. We're very excited to be able to take Mom to several different restaurants while she's here using those gift cards that we got when we bought the $100 gift cards, and they gave us a $10 dining card free. So today we are going over to Garden Grill inside the land at Epcot, and we're not exactly big fans of the lunch here. We've not had great experiences in the past, but we wanted to give it another shot. And also there's characters, which is great because Mom gets to meet with characters and we get to meet with characters while we get to try this food again. So when we got there, we headed over to our table in the rotating restaurant, and the plates and the bowls on the table were actually in the shape of a Mickey, which was really cute. And right after we got sat down, our drinks came around and the server brought out the salad and the rolls to start us off. I don't know why they're bringing me salad when I have all you care to enjoy. I'm not going to eat that. I'm not falling for that trick, but I will fall for the trick of eating the rolls because they are really good. As we were eating those, the first character came around, and it was Chip.
My mom took pictures with Chip first, and then I took some pictures with Chip, and then Robert did. And then we had to take one just by himself because he's just so cute and adorable. We got to talk to him for a few minutes before Pluto came around, so we started talking to Pluto, and he was very, very interested in the device we had that was taking pictures. So he sniffed it. We actually snapped a couple of pictures while he was doing that, which was awesome. We each got pictures with Pluto and got to wave to him. He's just so adorable. I know he doesn't talk, but he's super cute and he likes to lick everyone.
After Pluto, they came around with our entree, which is one giant skillet of a bunch of kind of traditional Thanksgiving type food. There's turkey and dressing, and they do bring cranberry sauce as well. Corn with lima beans, mashed potatoes, green beans, and then a random steak with chimichurri on it. Not exactly fitting with the Thanksgiving theme, but whatever. They also brought around some fries and mac and cheese with goldfish on top because it's super fancy apparently. And I guess that's the kids stuff, but we wanted everything because we were hungry and we like to try a little bit of everything, even if it is for the kids. We tried a little bit of everything, and kind of like we remembered from the last time we came here, nothing really stood out or was super impressive. It wasn't bad, it just wasn't amazing, which is kind of on par for most character meals, but the green beans were really, really good. For whatever reason, they stood out as our favorite thing of all the stuff on the table, which is very unusual for us. So we did eat all of those and actually order a second helping of it because they were just so good.
And that should kind of tell you something about the food here. If the best thing on the menu is the green beans, probably not worth the price. Now again, we're technically not paying for this meal, so we were quite happy to eat something. But for those of you who are wondering, we personally don't think the lunch and dinner are worth it. The breakfast, however, is a whole nother story. We love breakfast here at Garden Grill. Dale came around right after we were done eating, so we got to talk to him, and of course we had to take pictures with him as well. And we talked to him about Chip coming, which he was not happy about. So we talked about that for a minute. And then finally we got to see Mickey Mouse himself. We all took pictures with him. And then we took a picture of him in his awesome farmer costume, which is so adorable. I really do love this for him. He's the only one that actually wears a costume out of all the characters here, and I think that's really funny.
They did bring dessert around for us to share as well. Well, at least for me and Mom to share. Alyssa couldn't have any because it was a mixed berry shortcake. Had some blueberries and strawberries there, and also apparently some food coloring. So Alyssa couldn't have that, but it is amazing. I love the shortcake here. I do think the one over at Hoop-Dee-Doo Review is better, but this one is really good.
While Robert was signing all of the receipts that are required for all of the little coupons that we have, the little gift cards, I actually set up our camera and videoed for about a minute showing just how slowly this restaurant moves, because that is a huge question we get all the time for people who have never been and they're concerned because they're told that the whole restaurant rotates in a circle. Well, how quickly does it rotate? Is that going to cause problems? Especially for someone who has motion sickness issues, that can be a cause for concern because you're eating, you're standing up, taking pictures with characters, sitting back down. So I did a little video showing just how slowly this actually does move, and it put so many people at ease. It was one of the most random things we posted because there really wasn't any point to it except for that, but so many people appreciated it.
Once I was finally finished signing all the checks, we left the land and headed over to the Odyssey building to check out the Epcot experience. Mom actually hasn't seen this, so we went and we watched the entire 3D projection mapped show with the little model of Spaceship Earth and the different pavilions around Epcot and the screen that wraps all the way around the room. It's such a cool little show, and it also gets us very excited for what is coming up at Epcot, because right now it's kind of just a lot of walls and it's hard to imagine what it's going to look like. So we're just using this to keep us excited about it. When the show was over, we headed back out towards the International Gateway and the Skyliner. We decided we were going to park hop. So we took the Skyliner from Epcot all the way over to Caribbean Beach and then took the line from there over to Hollywood Studios. Once we got to Hollywood Studios, we were exiting the Skyliner and saw a friend of ours, so we stopped and talked for a few minutes. And while we're standing there talking, this lady comes running over to me and says, "Oh my goodness, it's so good to see you," and gives me a hug. And I'm sitting there thinking, I know I must know this lady. I don't recognize her voice. I don't recognize her face. I don't know who she is, but I should know who she is.
And then he looks at me like, "Do you know who this person is?" And I was like, I got nothing. And so our friend is looking at me, my mom's looking at me. This lady didn't let go of him. She just kept holding him. And I'm like, I got nothing for you. I'm sorry, but I have no idea who this is. So we're all standing there waiting for the explanation. And so our thought was she forgot to introduce herself and she just recognized us. So we waited a minute. She finally let go. And then she goes,
Figment just doesn't get enough love in the parks. It's so great to see another fan. because I'm wearing a Figment hat and a Figment shirt. This lady was decked out in Figment. She had the hat, the shirt, the skirt, the socks, the purse, everything, and apparently identified with the fact that I was wearing something Figment and decided she should hug me. So that was the most random encounter I think we've had the entire year. So Alyssa has her story from New Year's when she met her best friend's sister, and then I met random Figment lady.
My story is definitely cuter, and I'm just gonna put a side note here. It's really best if you don't run up to strangers and hug them. Now, thankfully, he's from the South, and so he was kind of used to that. I am from the North. Had someone done that to me, I don't know what my reaction would have been. So it was a very good thing it happened to him because he just kind of went with it. I'm not a hugger naturally anyway, so I don't know what would have happened. But we all just stood there and she just smiled and walked away, and we're like, what just happened? I don't even know what to say.
I mean, I feel like even in 2019, it wasn't really normal to run up and hug strangers, especially today though. I think that's less of a problem, thankfully. But anyway, after standing there for a moment, just mystified by what just happened, we decided to head into the parks. We let her get ahead of us a little bit first, and then we headed into the park. Went over to Frozen the Sing-Along because Mom loves this show, and we do too. It's absolutely hilarious. And they've added a little bit on for Christmas time, and we haven't seen it yet, so we wanted to go see it anyway. It worked out, so we went and sat down and enjoyed the entire show.
Actually, I have a little holiday surprise for you. For all of you.
You do?
Surprise!
Season's greetings, everyone! That's me! And I like warm hugs, especially during the holidays.
It's time to celebrate as we ring in the season.
Oh, traditions! I love the idea of traditions.
Especially during that time of year?
Yup. Happy, merry, holly, jolly season's greetings here. I'm wondering what your family does at that time of year. I'm so glad that you're all here at that time of year.
Elsa, you didn't say what your favorite part of the holiday season is.
Oh, well, my favorite tradition is being with you, Anna. You and all of our wonderful family and friends for the holidays.
Elsa, me too. And when we're together, I know the season will be merry and bright. Cause when we're together, it's a holiday every night.
It's my favorite time of year.
After the show, the sun was starting to set, which means all the lights are starting to show really well in the park. And so we stopped to take some pictures of the Christmas tree because it looks amazing around sunset, especially in the dark too, but you can see a little more at sunset time. While we were taking those pictures, we noticed that they were setting up for the dessert party. And this was really awesome because we didn't book it, but we were able to see the whole thing as it was still really pretty because none of the guests were in there yet. So we got to see the whole thing set up before it gets destroyed and everyone starts eating everything. We made our way over to Tower of Terror because they have the projections on there. And this is one of the coolest things because Tower of Terror is a very unique design, but the projections fit so perfectly on the building. There are lasers that go down the street. They make it snow on the street. It is just one of my favorite things here in Hollywood Studios for Christmas. I love it. And we were here much longer than most people because most people watch for a few minutes and then leave. I wanted to see the entire thing play through. I was taking pictures, video, you name it. And after a while, Mom and Robert were just kind of like, are we still watching it? I'm like, yes, this is so cool. So we stayed for quite a long time, but then we finally decided to head out and do a few other things.
We wanted to see Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam, the nighttime show up there on the Chinese Theater, But we don't want to sit and wait for 2 hours for it because there's no reason for that. So we headed over to Muppet Vision 3D and watched the show. I love the Muppets, so I'm happy to watch that any day. And it was a nice break in a padded seat. So we sat there and enjoyed Muppet Vision 3D. And then when we left, we headed over and got a spot for Jingle Bell Jingle Bam. And this is such a fun show. They do a great job with the laser lights, a lot of fireworks, a lot of projections, and it uses Prep and Landing, which are awesome characters that I feel like are really underutilized, and I'm glad they got their own show. Once the show was over, we went out with the whole crowd leaving the park and got in line for the Skyliner, which had a very long line, but thankfully it moves very, very quickly. They do have a very high capacity pushing people through. Eventually got the Skyliner back over to Caribbean Beach, and then one from there to Art of Animation, back to our room, and that was the end of our day today. So we'll see you tomorrow
For our Year with the Ears.